I knew it was wrong the moment I realized I was counting down the hours until Sophie would visit again. I whispered to myself, deleting another late-night text I'd typed but never sent. She's my brother's girlfriend. She laughs at his jokes, holds his hand at family dinners, sleeps in his bed. But when she looks at me, really looks at me, I see something that makes my heart race and my conscience scream. This isn't just a crush. This is going to destroy everything. Jake brings Sophie home for the first time at Sunday family dinner. "Everyone, this is Sophie," he announces proudly, his arm around her waist. I look up from setting the table, and our eyes meet. She's beautiful. Shoulder-length straight blonde hair catching the dining room light. Blue eyes warm and genuine. Light olive skin glowing. "Hi," she says, extending her hand to me with a smile that makes my stomach flip. "You must be Mia." Jake's told me so much about his little sister. Little sister. Right. That's all I am. That's all I can ever be. Over dinner, I watch Sophie interact with my family. She's natural, warm, asking Mom about her garden, laughing at Dad's terrible jokes. Jake looks happier than I've seen him in years. "So Mia," Sophie says, turning those blue eyes on me, "Jake mentioned you're an artist?" I nod, suddenly self-conscious. "Mostly digital illustration, freelance work." "That's amazing," she says, and something in her tone makes me think she actually means it. "I'd love to see your work sometime." Jake barely glances up from his phone. "Yeah, Mia's really talented," he says absently, already distracted by a work email. After dinner, Sophie finds me in the kitchen doing dishes. "Let me help," she insists, grabbing a towel. We work in comfortable silence for a moment before she speaks. "Your brother is wonderful, but he's always working. Does he ever just relax?" There's something vulnerable in the question that makes me look at her more carefully. Jake's always been like that, I admit. Even as kids, he had to be the best at everything. It's exhausting just watching him. Sophie laughs softly. "Tell me about it. Sometimes I feel more like his assistant than his girlfriend." The next few weeks, Sophie becomes a regular presence at our parents' house. She starts showing up even when Jake's running late from work, which is often. "I hope you don't mind," she says one evening, finding me sketching in the living room. "Your mom invited me for dinner and Jake said he'd be here by 7. But," she checks her phone, "it's almost 8 now." I gesture to the couch. He does this. Work always comes first. Sophie sits, closer than necessary, and peers at my sketchbook. "Is that the lake by the park?" Her genuine interest makes me warm. "Yeah, I go there sometimes when I need to think." "Can I come with you sometime?" Sophie asks, her blue eyes meeting mine with an intensity that makes my breath catch. "To the lake, I mean. I love that spot too, but I hate going alone. It's such a simple request, but something about it feels significant. Dangerous." "Sure," I hear myself say. "Maybe this Saturday?" Jake won't be free anyway. He has that conference call. Sophie's smile is radiant. "It's a date." Then she catches herself. I mean, not a date, just, 2 friends hanging out. But the slight flush on her cheek suggests she's as aware as I am of the charged moment between us. Saturday at the lake, Sophie and I sit on the dock, our feet dangling over the water. She's wearing a simple sundress, her blonde hair loose around her shoulders, and I have to force myself to look away. "Can I ask you something personal?" she says quietly. "Do you ever feel like you're living the life everyone expects instead of the life you want?" The question catches me off guard. "What do you mean?" Sophie picks at the wood of the dock. "Jake's great. He checks all the boxes, successful, handsome, comes from a good family. But sometimes I wonder if I'm with him because I genuinely love him or because he's the safe choice." "That's a heavy question," I manage, my heart pounding. Sophie looks at me, and there's something raw in her expression. "I know. I shouldn't be saying this to you of all people. You're his sister." She laughs, but it sounds sad. "It's just you actually listen when I talk. You see me. not just as someone's girlfriend or a +1 to business dinners. The way she's looking at me makes it hard to breathe. Sophie, I start, not knowing what I'm going to say. But she's already standing up, wrapping her arms around herself. We should probably head back. Jake will wonder where I am. That night, I can't sleep. I keep replaying the conversation. The way Sophie looked at me. The vulnerability in her voice. My phone buzzes. It's a text from Sophie. Thanks for today. I haven't felt that comfortable with someone in a long time. I stare at the message for 10 minutes before responding. Me neither. 3 dots appear immediately, then disappear, then appear again. Finally, we should do it again soon. I know I should say no. I know this is heading somewhere dangerous, but I type back. Definitely. Over the next month, Sophie and I develop our own friendship separate from Jake. Coffee dates that turn into 3-hour conversations. Movie nights when Jake's working late. Walks through the city where we talk about everything. Her childhood moving between cities. My struggles with feeling invisible next to my successful brother. Our shared love of old bookstores and rainy days. Jake doesn't get why I like used bookstores, Sophie says one afternoon, browsing through a dusty philosophy section. He thinks everything should be new and efficient. She pulls out a worn copy of Rilke's poems. But there's something beautiful about things that have history, you know? I'm falling for her. The realization hits me one evening when Sophie shows up at my apartment unannounced. Upset because Jake forgot their anniversary dinner for a client meeting. I'm so stupid, she says, mascara running down her cheeks as she sits on my couch. I made reservations weeks ago, bought a new dress, and he just forgot. I make her tea, let her cry. Hate my brother for making her feel this way. You're not stupid, I say quietly. You deserve someone who shows up for you. Sophie looks up at me with red-rimmed eyes. Like you? The question hangs in the air between us, dangerous and electric. Sophie, I whisper, but I don't know if it's a warning or a plea. She's sitting so close I can see the gold flecks in her blue eyes, smell her perfume. Mia, I need to be honest about something. Her voice is shaky. These past few months spending time with you, I look forward to it more than anything else, more than seeing Jake, more than work, more than... She trails off, looking down at her hands. This is so messed up. You're his sister. I shouldn't feel this way. My heart is racing so fast I can barely think. Feel what way? Sophie's eyes meet mine. Like maybe I'm dating the wrong sibling. I should tell her to leave. I should remind her she's with Jake. I should do anything except what I'm doing, which is slowly reaching out and tucking a strand of blonde hair behind her ear. Sophie closes her eyes at the touch, and when she opens them again, they're filled with conflict and want in equal measure. We can't, I say, but I don't move away. I know, she whispers, but I can't stop thinking about you. We sit like that for a long moment, the air between us charged with everything we're not saying. Finally, Sophie stands up. I should go, before we do something we can't take back. After she leaves, I call my best friend Emma in a panic. I'm falling for my brother's girlfriend, I confess, and I think she might be falling for me too. Emma is quiet for a moment. Okay, that's complicated. But Mia, you need to ask yourself, are these real feelings or is this just the thrill of something forbidden? I think about Sophie's laugh, the way she remembers small details I mention in passing, how she makes me feel seen in a way no one else ever has. It's real, I say quietly. It's so real it scares me. Emma sighs. Then you need to figure out what you're going to do about it, because this can't stay in limbo forever. I try to distance myself from Sophie, but it's impossible. She texts me every day, shows up at places she knows I'll be. One evening I find her waiting outside my apartment building in the rain. Jake and I had a fight, she says, soaked and shivering. I should send her home. Instead, I bring her upstairs, give her dry clothes, make her hot chocolate. What was the fight about? I ask, even though I'm not sure I want to know. Sophie wraps her hands around the mug. He asked me what was wrong, why I've been distant lately, and I couldn't tell him the truth that I'm in love with his sister. The words hang between us, changing everything. Sophie, I breathe. She sets down the mug and turns to me, her blue eyes intense. I know this is wrong. I know it could destroy your family, ruin my relationship with Jake, make everything complicated. But Mia, I can't keep pretending I don't feel this way. She reaches for my hand. Every time I'm with Jake, I'm thinking about you. Every conversation we have, I'm wishing I was talking to you instead. This isn't fair to anyone. Not to him, not to you, not even to me. Her fingers intertwine with mine. Tell me you don't feel the same way, and I'll walk out that door and never bring this up again. But I can't tell her that, because it would be a lie. I feel the same way, I admit, my voice barely audible. I've been falling for you since the first family dinner, and I hate myself for it, because Jake's my brother, and he loves you, and I'm supposed to be loyal to him. But Sophie, I look at our joined hands. I've never felt this way about anyone. Sophie's eyes fill with tears. What are we going to do? It's the question that's been haunting me for weeks. I don't know, I whisper, but we need to figure it out, because we can't keep doing this thing where we're not together, but we're not together either. Sophie wipes her eyes and nods. You're right. I need to be honest with Jake. End things properly. He deserves that much. The thought of her breaking up with him should make me happy, but instead I feel sick. This is going to hurt him so much, he'll hate me, probably never want to see me again. Sophie's grip on my hand tightens. I won't tell him about us, not right away. I'll just say that I realized we want different things, that I need someone more emotionally available. It's not even a lie, that's all true. She searches my face. But Mia, if I do this, if I end things with Jake, are you sure about this? About us? Am I sure? This could destroy my relationship with my brother, potentially split my family. My parents might never look at me the same way. But when I look at Sophie, really look at her, I see something I've never had before. Someone who sees me, chooses me, makes me feel like I'm worth showing up for. I'm sure, I say. And I mean it. I know it's going to be messy and painful and complicated. But Sophie, I'd rather deal with all of that than spend the rest of my life wondering what could have been. A tear rolls down her cheek, but she's smiling. Okay, she whispers. Okay, I'll talk to Jake tomorrow. The next evening, my phone rings. It's Jake. Did you know? His voice is sharp with hurt. Did you know Sophie was going to break up with me? My mouth goes dry. Jake, she said she needs someone more present, more emotionally available, which is fair, I guess. I knew I wasn't being the best boyfriend. He's quiet for a moment, but Mia, she mentioned you, said you helped her realize what she was missing in our relationship. The accusation in his tone is clear. She's been spending a lot of time with you lately. My heart is pounding. Jake, but he's already hung up. 2 weeks later, Sophie and I meet at a quiet cafe across town where no one knows us. She looks nervous, beautiful, and when she sees me, her whole face lights up in a way that makes my heart ache. Jake knows, I tell her as we sit down. Not about us specifically, but he suspects something. Sophie nods. My friends think I'm crazy. Ending a stable relationship, potentially ruining your family dynamic, all for something uncertain. She reaches across the table and takes my hand. But when I'm with you, nothing has ever felt more certain. I thread my fingers through hers. Are we really doing this? Dating in secret, sneaking around, hoping eventually our families will understand? Sophie's smile is soft but determined. Yes, because some love is worth fighting for, even when it's complicated, especially when it's complicated. And as she squeezes my hand, I know she's right. This won't be easy, but nothing worthwhile ever is.